Waseem Zaffar to respond.
Thank you, Deputy Lord Mayor. Can I thank all members across the Chamber who have contributed to this very important debate this afternoon. I'll try to respond to as many of the issues that were raised as possible within the time frame. Can I just also make it very clear, people have talked about a £27 million project. It is a £27 million project, and it's not just about the flyover, the capping of the Birchfield Island, the cycling and walking infrastructure. We've seen very little, if any, objections to those other particular aspects of this. So it's important to bear this in mind when we actually look at this. It is the flyover which is causing the most amount of controversy. There's been accusations, Deputy Lord Mayor, some of them below the belt, about how this administration has approached this entire process. I'd like to think we've been very open and transparent from day one. We've engaged, we've published as much information as possible via the Cabinet report. And there's an accusation from the Leader of the Opposition, Deputy Lord Mayor, that we had a two-side response to this petition. Well, we trust the judgment that members across this chamber are following what's going on at Cabinet and have seen the detailed reports in Cabinet. We've also responded to public questions in this chamber about these particular projects and others within Perry Barr too. And furthermore, scrutiny asked us at the first call-in request a few months back whether we will work with them in co-designing the particular consultation that took place. We shared the details of the consultation with the local members from Perry Barr. At their request, we also extended it, and we regularly reported into scrutiny as was a request. So we've been very, very open and transparent and engaged. And today, I think, I also find today's debate has been helpful in the whole process too. So in hindsight, we're happy to accept that today has been a positive, has had a positive impact in the whole process too. A number of members talked about the impact on climate change. Scientific research quite clearly says when we move people out of cars and into mass transit systems, there's a reduction in CO2. And this is what we're trying to achieve. But you can't move people into mass transit systems that won't work if they're not given the right level of priority. And this is what we're trying to achieve. There is no point in us having a sprint system that's not going to stop at one stop, that's not going to stop at the railway station, that's not going to stop at the bus interchange. And we're putting in thousands and thousands of homes who won't benefit from a sprint stop because we're not going to take the flyover down. So I think common sense needs to prevail. We're putting £500 million of investment into Perry Barr. And I was on record previously as opposing the decision by Birmingham City University to come out of Perry Barr, because that had a massive economic impact, not just in Perry Barr, but also in neighbouring wards such as Mines. When a number of other businesses in Perry Barr also went down, there was a massive hole within Perry Barr. But through the leadership that this Labour local authority has shown in securing the games, working with key stakeholders right across the country, including the government, where we will end up with a Perry Barr district which is thriving again economically, socially and culturally. And this project absolutely brings all the other different projects together. Councillor Hunt talked about the fact that Planning Committee didn't have sight of the flyover coming down when they decided on the Gailey Park housing application. That's fact, because the proposals on this particular project were not in place at that particular time, and it would have been disingenuous of us to put proposals forward to the Planning Committee which hadn't been worked on properly. But 350 homes in the Gailey Park site is 350 families that we will house. This city and this country has a housing crisis, and we are looking to address that. And when one of the key objectors, the Tory leader of Walsall Council, tells me to drop the housing project because the flyover is more important, we know which party is determined to address the housing crisis quite clearly on this. Lord Mayor, Deputy Lord Mayor, integrated transport and having an aspiration for integrated transport and a connective system, a transport system across the city, will go a long way in addressing our challenges around air pollution. It'll go a long way in getting us to reach carbon neutral by 2030, that ambitious target that we all agreed on. And the only way to do that is by making some really, really tough decisions. We've been elected to change lives. We hear the concerns of the people of Perry Barr who've signed this petition, those that travel through Perry Barr. Without dropping that flyover, we're not going to get the levels of bus priority that we need through that particular system. We will not be able to create a transport system which is future-proof, not just for the residents today, but for future residents. And as I said in my opening address, 30% of people travelled through that flyover? What about the other 70%? Because the other system is not fit for purpose. We are trying to bring forward a system that will future-proof the way that people, not cars, move through the north of the city.
Thank you very
Deputy
much,
Lord Mayor.
Councillor Waseem Zaffar.